More questions, but
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
it's all right. I just condense it all. So, for me, I am a straightforward kind of guy. Disciplined as far as like my father's in the army, so you know certain things. This is this. This is your role. This is this. That is that. He took care of bills and all that other stuff. My mother took care of me and me and my brother. I kind of run my house that way. Now, I've learned that obviously, even with doing that, there are some things you can adjust to. So, yes, I may wash more dishes. Now, to be fair, I do the majority of the cleaning. But what I mean is, if it means, for example, I didn't see my father pick me up for school. But in the case of my children, I've learned if I'm at home and I'm on a break, hey, go pick up the kid.
Right.
I've learned that. That's fine. Now, how do you if I know the temperature of my wife, my children, and they know myself as well, how do you as a male balance this what we gonna do? And all right, I'll let this slide. Or not let it slide like, you letting somebody off the hook, but I'm I say I could get off at work at 4:30. I know I gotta clean the house, I'm gonna clean the house now. Instead of wait 3 hours and then 3 hours later, now I gotta eat, now I gotta, how do you balance structure and making sure everybody's emotional needs are met, but also understanding that regardless to our emotions, there's still a order, there's a process for our household. How do you do that and not be, well, no, I'm not a dictator, but how do you get to that point across, but then understand, I know this is how you feel, but that doesn't matter. We still have this, whether it's you talking to your wife respectfully or you're talking to your children respectfully, and still not feel like you being so hard. I don't know if you can't feel like you're being hard in certain instances, but because then you don't want to make your wife or your children feel a certain type of way. But if I understand, if I don't make this call, nothing's going to get done. How do you balance that?
Well, the key is this. This is kind of what we've been saying. We've got to first come into agreement. That's the key. When you marry people, we got to come into agreement first. Then we set the order for the house. So that's vital right there. We both got to come in agreement on what it is that we want to do.
Yeah, one of the things that that was very some with our house. The kids get out of school at 2 or 3:30. Then if we have church on Wednesday night or have service on Friday night, they know automatic to go and do your homework. They knew that automatic. Then we went to church that night or stuff. Or if they had something, they had to do their home. So in other words, there was a pattern in our house. Now, if you missed dinner time in our house, you should have ate outside. So in other words, I said, they come in and said, what's that in the house to eat? You should have ate outside. Or the fact that, but we had a routine. And I know every family don't have I don't know if any family have, but it's a routine in our house.
No, you should.
It's a routine.
No, you should. No, let's just say you should. There should be routine.
Now with me, I had 4 kids. With me, what kept me together was a schedule. I had a schedule book. From 9 to 10 or 10 to 11, whatever. I knew exactly what I'm going to be doing. I had a schedule book because I had kids, and I knew if you have trips and stuff. And in the morning, I take my time, but then I look at the schedule. What's the schedule? How it should look today? The pattern. It's a pattern. It's a tone. Everybody should know where everybody is at. Everybody should know that was very important. Everybody should know where everybody is at. In other words, if I don't know where you at, everybody should know where you at. If everybody don't know where you at, then Chris should know where you at. Somebody should know where everybody is at. So in other words, there's a pattern. And if you get so busy, you need a schedule. Ain't nothing wrong. You don't have to be a teacher to have a schedule. I had a schedule. And I looked at the schedule whenever I had to look back and say, okay, what I got? What were we doing at 10 o'clock? So it ain't a dictatorship.
But it still starts, it starts with both parents on how we're going to go about doing this or whatever. And if something is lacking, then we come together. What is it going to take to such and such such? You know, what's involved? I'm just going to throw it out. Just say, okay, how come the leaves don't get raked? How come I'm not raking? Whatever it is, then we have to come together on that. What's causing it? What happened? See, that communication is key. You got to stay in communication until it becomes a habit.
No, you got to stay in communication till somebody die.
Well, we don't want to. I mean, let's.
No,
I mean,
because it's a long journey.
No,
it's not just. It's a long journey.
We ain't looking for any of that.
Well, I ain't said that.
You did say it.
We ain't
no, we.
Over.
No.
Okay.
Let's just. Ha, that was a funny joke. No. You got to keep doing certain things until it does become a habit. Because once something is a habit and it's a routine, as you said, then you only have to talk about it because it's a routine. You know what needs to be done. But that communication has to always be there. So, because things happen where routines can change, then we need to discuss it. We need to talk about it. Or if something is not being done, then we need to talk about it. See, it's the key to all of this is both have to be willing. If somebody is not willing, it's going to be hard. It's hard.
But it got to work both ways.
No, of course, you both got to be willing. You know, that's the key. Both has to be willing.
You can't ask me for something if you ain't going to do nothing.
Didn't I just say both have to be willing?
I'm just saying.
No, both have to be willing. Because if both aren't, it's going to be hard. For whatever that means, we're both willing to do what it takes to do what we need to do. You know, and you talk about it. Sometimes when you don't talk about it, that could be a reason why certain things don't get done. But if you don't talk about it, you don't know. It's like, okay, how come the garage didn't get clean? Maybe I just found out that the dust is messing with your lungs. But we never talk about it, and I didn't know that, so I'm just arguing at you or you arguing at me while I'll never clean the garage. So that's what I'm saying. Communication is key. You know, on why this is not working. Or sometimes we may have to restructure, say, you know, there's a better way to do this. Or we may have to change the routine. You know, it's just like certain things, if we cook, there's certain things I cook better than you.
Like what?
Hamburgers. Because I used to work at McDonald's in 1978. And she gave me a compliment not long ago because I get the hamburgers and I flesh it real good in the plate, make it nice and round. You get that spatula. And I know when to turn it over when it get red. Then we're going to put cheese on it, put some cheese on it, then put that bun on the side to grill a little.
You see how long he taking this? You see how long he just making like, oh my God, I picked this big old giant meal.
No, but I'm making a point. Sometimes it may be, the one might be able, is better at doing it or can do it more productive than the other. We talk about it and it's okay. You know, instead of me yelling at, you know, your hamburger looking all greasy.
But he like grills.
Well, we ain't getting into it. No, I don't anymore. I don't do that anymore.
I just want to make that known.
That was a long time ago. You know, it's not putting out public business on that thing. This ain't no, what do you call them shows? This ain't no reality show. This is a Christian show.